Hey everyone, I think we're good and I think we're live. We are going to do a repurpose of my door hanger today, and I'm also going to show you a really easy tip on doing some really pretty lettering if you don't have good handwriting. So I'm going to show you both these things today. For those of you that haven't joined me before, my name is Christy Hawkins with The Social Easel, and I teach people how to paint. So in addition to that, we're going to do some DIY because I love decorating my home. And I love taking inspiration that I see online and in magazines and trying to find fun and creative ways to do that myself for probably like a tenth of the cost of what I see. So welcome, you guys. We're going to be doing some extra Facebook Lives over this fall because I have so many fun ideas and so much inspiration for my front porch that I just decided I'm going to take y'all along for the ride. So everything that I make for my home this fall, I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. So a lot of what I'm doing is going to be inspired by Mackenzie Childs. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but look her up. This is my inspiration for my front porch. So, and I'm going to show you some of the things that I'm doing with that, but more of that is to come. But I just wanted to show you that so you can kind of see her sense of style. What I want to do with the door hanger today is this is what I had on my door right now, which is great for spring and summer, but obviously not so much for fall. So we're simply just going to flip this over, and I'm going to do the same stripes on the other side, and I'm still going to do welcome, but we're going to have it ready for fall instead of spring. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this over, and this is just 1/8 inch plywood that you can get at any store. I am not sure if my team is on here or not, but if you guys are, if you don't want to cut your own, Corey cut these for me. This is an old door hanger from when I used to do them at paint nights here locally. My friend Tamara Bennett sells them, and I have a link for her cutouts if you would prefer to buy one. Or you can also go to the store, go to Hobby Lobby, Michael's. A lot of these places now have blank door hangers. So the very first thing I'm going to do, this is, I just bought this paint yesterday at Hobby Lobby. They have all their paints on sale for 30% off this week. So I hadn't tried this before, but I'm going to show you something else I've been working on where I was painting on plastic. And I had a few paints that I tried, but I wasn't like super thrilled with the way that they were working on there. So I bought this one to try out, and I really, really like how it's turning out. So I'm going to go ahead and use it for the base coat of my door hanger. And then I'm just going to get a large brush and get all the water out of it. And we're going to put a base coat on here. How many of you guys are decorating for fall or Halloween? I love the black and white for Halloween especially, but I really love it for fall. I've gotten a couple of Mackenzie Childs pieces, and then I'm going to be adding my own twist to a few things inspired by her that I'm going to incorporate with my fall decor this year. So you can probably already see this gives pretty good coverage, even on the first coat. And if you don't know, when you're painting with acrylic paint, don't mind the noise. We're having our staircase to the basement redone. You always want to go in thin coats. You don't want to glop this on and have it super thick. You also don't want to put your second coat on until your first coat is dry. The base paint is Folk Art, and it's just called Multi-Surface. And hopefully we have no glitches with audio or anything today. How many of you guys do a door hanger and how many of you do a wreath? Oh, Carol just said, I've got a wreath for my front door. So I am going to do a door hanger right now, but y'all probably didn't know this, but back in a past life, I used to make wreaths and sell them on Etsy before I taught people how to paint. And I'm really itching to do a Mackenzie inspired wreath as well. So this door hanger may be temporary because I may want to put a new wreath out there. Maybe I can find somewhere else to hang this in my house. But it's always good to have options. So again, I just want to make sure I have enough paint on here that it's gliding smoothly. You can see my brush just easily going back and forth. The longer brush strokes you make, the better it's going to look because you're not going to see those stops. I was hoping he wasn't going to be here until after I went live, but you know, that didn't happen. Beth said, I think I need a door hanger. My wreath gets squished between my doors. So yeah, mine used to also. In fact, I guess my wreaths were so thick, Corey said I was messing up the front door because we have a storm door and then, you know, the wood door. And I guess because people were trying to push it and it was squishing it. And he says I messed the door up. We're getting a new door. But I just ordered off Amazon as well. We're going to test it out and see. It's a suction cup that can go on the glass part of my storm door that is supposed to be able to hold up to 10 pounds. So I'm going to test it and let y'all know. All right, so we've got our base coat on there. I'm just going to lift that up so it's not sticking to my paper. Yes, all my videos are always available on replay. So if you can't stay the whole time, that's okay because you can come back and watch it whenever you want to. Oh, that's a good idea. Deborah said she had her paintings on her door and changed them for the seasons and her moods. So while I'm letting this dry, I'll probably blow dry it a little bit too, but I was going to go ahead and show you what I did this morning. Can you guys see this? Hold it over here. So this is a little white foam pumpkin. I ordered like a 12-pack of them from Amazon. And then I took a Mackenzie Child's napkin, also ordered from Amazon. And see, it opens up into this big thing. You guys can use napkins to do crafts and for your paintings as well. So I covered it, decoupaged it on there, and then of course I had to add gold to it. So this is the first one. If you guys love this and want to see how I did it, I'm going to do a Facebook Live on that later this week. And then I had some polka dot tissue paper that I've had in my drawer for a while. And I decided to do, so they're different sizes. I decided to do a little polka dot pumpkin to go with it. So these are cute on their own, or they'll be cute mixed in with some regular pumpkins. I'm going to use them indoors and on my deck, so they're not going to get rained on or anything. You can put a weatherproofing on them, but still, just because, I don't know, that just makes me nervous. Guess you could test it and try it. It should technically seal them fine. I got a little white on here. So if you guys want to see how I did those, I'll do that in a Facebook Live this week as well. And then the other thing I wanted to show you. So remember my inspiration. I've got pens and paintbrushes sticking out of this magazine. So I looked online to try to find these urns. That blank ones, by the way, because Mackenzie's one urn is $400. And I'm pretty sure Corey would shoot me if I spent $100 on an urn. So I went on Amazon and found a plastic urn. And we are going to make our own Mackenzie inspired urn. So I'm going to show you all the steps of how to do this. Obviously, this is a work in progress. That's what I've got done so far. But I'm really excited with how it's coming together. And then I ordered some black and white check ribbon that I'm going to mix in with some new fall garland. So yeah, all kinds of fun things. Let me see how this is drying. So hopefully you guys are excited about that too. And Judah said, how are you feeling? I am feeling okay. Still a little tired, but we're getting there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and blow dry this a little bit just to speed the process up. Okay, a couple questions. Holly said, what is the best decoupage? I've tried them all. Mine don't ever look dry or right. So I have also used a couple different ones. The one I used for these was by DecoArt. It's their decoupage in a gloss finish. You can get them in different finishes. So satin, matte, gloss, whatever it is that you want. That's the one that I'm using for those. And I like it. I don't have a problem with it. I have used Mod Podge before. I just don't have any right now, but I feel like they pretty much work the same. So it may be that you're putting too thick of coats on there. If it's not drying right and doesn't look right, you may want to do thinner coats of that. Leslie said, what kind of paint do I use on the plastic? That's what I bought this for. That's what I'm using on that urn. And I really, really like the way that it's looking. So the same thing I'm using on this. Paula said, I saw you are a Chiefs fan. Yes, I am. Wish they were doing better this year. Hopefully they get it together. We're certainly not looking like Super Bowl champs right now. Okay. This is still slightly damp. Let me wipe these edges off. I think I'm going to go around my edges when I'm all the way done and do a gold paint pen on them. So if you haven't been with me a while or don't know my painting or my style, I love black and white and I love gold and I love shimmer and glitter and all the things, all things shiny and happy. So pretty much add gold to almost everything that I do. Okay, that's still a little tackier than what I want it to be. So I'm going to move this. So to do the hand lettering with my tip that I'm going to show you, I'm going to carefully kind of prop this up because it's just a little bit tacky. Oh, I'm such a dork. Look what I did. I totally messed up the other side. Look at that mess. We'll just save those touch-ups for later. But I'm going to show you how I'm going to trace over this lettering because I really like this lettering. And then I can do it on the other side. When I did this, this was actually a stencil that I did with my silhouette. But I don't want to mess with that because Sometimes it's just a pain in the butt. It is nice that it's a stencil and it's crisp and perfect, but I think I just want to freehand letter at this time. So all I did to get this font, and this is my tip for you guys, all you have to do is open up whatever Word document you have. If it's Apple's, Pages, Microsoft Word, whatever. You can download fonts for free on dafont.com. That's DAFONT.com. Or you can buy fonts online if there's something you really like. So this is a font that I bought and I used for a lot of my designs back when I did door hangers and crafts. And then all you do is put it in your Word document and print it out. You can change your settings and make your printer print bigger than an 8.5 by 11. If you know it's going to be on a bigger surface like this. And that way you're not having to freehand it. Laurel's asking what kind though. What are you asking about, Laurel? I showed the kind of paint and told you guys what it was, so I'm not sure if I missed something else. Just let me know and I'll tell you. Okay, so all I'm going to do is trace this. Now, when you're tracing a font like this, it is important to do the thickness of the letter, not just the inside, so you're getting the word, right? We want to have the thickness because that's what I like about it is the thick and thin. So for the thin section, I'm just doing a line because I know that's going to be a thin part of my brush. For the thicker section, I'm drawing the outline around that. And if you're good at hand lettering, you can also just freehand this. I have been practicing my hand lettering, getting better at it, but for this, I wanted to show you guys a simple way anyone can do this if you're not confident in your hand lettering. Okay, so I've got that traced. I'm just going to set that aside. Debbie, I don't know the name of the font off the top of my head. That was from several years ago that I did that. So just Google like scripty fonts, and then you'll be able to pick which one you like. There are tons that look like that. Okay, this is good. Wipe off my excess water again, and we're going to do a second coat. Now for the second coat, I'm not going to need as much. So I'm going to put my paint not directly on there. I'm just going to get some on my plate. And we're just going to do a quick light coat over top of it. Just enough that you can't see that color of the plywood showing through. You can see, yeah, you can see how much opaque that is. Lost my words for a second. So while I'm here painting with you guys, it's obviously not a lot of technique to talk about here. I want to make sure that you know about my Painting of the Month Club and what that is for October, because tomorrow's the last day you can sign up for it. So if you haven't signed up for Painting of the Month Club, or you don't know what I'm talking about, that is my monthly membership. It's only $20 a month, where you get one painting per month with me. There is no commitment. You can cancel at any time. And for October, we are doing my blue pumpkins, which has been crazy, insanely popular. We did it for painting of the month, and then we've made products with it, and they've been selling like crazy since we listed them in the store. So I'm going to show you that here in a second. But you can sign up today and tomorrow. That's the last day. No exceptions, because it messes up our billing when we let people in late and they don't get charged on the right day. So the 30th is, right, the 30th, this is 29th. Yeah, the 30th is the last day you can sign up for that. And it's also the only way that you get these exclusive designs. One, and also the only way that you can get my paintings at $20 each. It's only on the ones that I select each month. So the regular price of my tutorials in my store is $37 a piece. So it's a really good deal. You get lifetime access to them. They're all in your membership library, so they're really easy to go back to and watch whenever they're convenient for you. The team has put up a link there for you if you want to click on that and check that out. And then I think I have my painting buried underneath here that I can show you in just a second. I haven't framed it yet. I did it in my mixed media pad. And this is a really fun one because I teach you a new technique this month, which I haven't done in Painting of the Month Club so far, where I teach you how to use acrylic paints like watercolor. And it does come with a template, comes with a color list if you want to know the exact colors that I used. But of course, my advice is always don't worry about that and find the colors that you love and use those to paint with. Hello, Pamela. All right, we've almost got the second coat on here. Now for this next part, I'm going to want to make sure, that's getting really loud. I'm going to want to make sure this is completely dry before I go to the next part, because we're going to be using some painter's tape. Usually I am the queen of freehand, but for something like this, I actually like the crisp lines. Okay, while he's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and blow dry this. So we'll just go ahead and just have noise for noise. Judith's asking if we're members, do you get that? Tribe members, if you are a Tribe Sister, Painting of the Month Club is included in your membership. You do not have to sign up for it separately. This particular painting was painted in Tribe, so you already have access to it as well. So buried under here. You guys should see what a mess my office is right now. That's what happens when I get so many ideas. I usually have like 4 or 5 projects going at a time, which means there are things piled up, falling over, stuff everywhere, which is why we put doors on my office so that I'm the only one who has to see it and everyone else can just walk by a nice teal door. I'm going to grab that painting real quick to show you. So this is our blue pumpkins. This is the painting of the month that you can sign up for. Again, the deadline for that is tomorrow. Okay, this feels pretty dry. It makes me a little bit nervous to go ahead and put the stripes on here, though. I'm checking the time, too. Of course, everything takes longer than what I planned for. I'm going to do another quick blow dry before I show you how to do the painter's tape. Pushing it the wrong way. Okay, so I'm using, I think this is 2 inches. Let me double check so I'm not telling you wrong. Okay, yeah, it is. This is 2-inch painter's tape. So I like to start in the middle so that it keeps everything centered. I think that looks straight. So I'm just gonna gently push that down. Okay, so step 1 is get centered, whatever direction you're going. I'm gonna take myself off the screen if I can. I wonder if this will. Okay, let me know if that's good. I thought I'd just give you guys a little bit bigger view here. I think I can see your hearts and stuff. If you want to shoot up thumbs up and hearts and let me know if that works, that would be great. Okay, Judith says it's good. All right, so here's a little tip for you. To keep your spacing right with your stripes, I'm going to set this one flush. Just a little piece. You don't need to pull off an entire section of tape, right? That still may be a little damp. It's not one to stick. If you're not doing this on a schedule and on a Facebook Live, make sure you're letting this dry really good. I'm trying to rush things a little bit. And I think that's why it's not sticking so great. Karen is asking about supply list for our October classes and tribe. So Karen, if you're a new member, I actually do not provide supply lists until the day that I teach, because sometimes I don't have everything painted ahead of time and you guys just paint live with me just like I'm doing today. And sometimes if it is a painting that I already have done, sometimes I change the colors on it. So supply lists are available the same time that I go live. Same with any guest artists that come into our group. So see what that allows me to do is just line that up. Get that space right there. Oh, this paint's not wanting to tear. All right, I'm going to move that. We're going to have a little bit extra up here. How many of y'all have done this technique before? It's pretty handy. Easy way to get stripes. All right, so that's cutting off just a little. Let me move this. Scooch up just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and tear this big. I can't tell from eyeing it whether it's going to go across. Yeah, just a little tiny bit. Yeah, we're going to make it go just a little bit because I think it'll look better. So just a tiny little bit on these top curves up here. Come on, fingernails. There we go. So once you get it on there, you really want to make sure your edges especially are adhered well so that it doesn't leak underneath. Now, this is old painter's tape that I have that I'm using today. I can fix, you know, little things if it needs to be fixed. If it leaks a little bit. In my Amazon store, I have frog tape, which I actually prefer to this blue painter's tape. I feel like it does a better job of not seeping under. So if you guys do not have the link to my Amazon store, this is where I have all my favorite supplies. You can text the word Amazon. Let's see if I have that banner already here. Here we go. Text the word Amazon to 417-217-7044. And when you text that word, you just text that word all by itself. That's a keyword. And when you text that keyword, my texting system knows to send you the link to my Amazon store. So you can check out everything that I list there. And that includes all the things that I'm getting ready to be using for like my fall makeover in my house. Okay, let's get some black paint now. Now I'm just using an old plate, so you're seeing other colors on here we're not using. So also, because this is what I'm doing, hey, Cheryl, you're going to need to text that, not put it in the comments. So actually go to your text on your phone and text that phone number. See how in this pattern, it's kind of streaky and she's got some white and even gold and stuff through there. So instead of just the basic black and white like I did on the front, I'm going to make it look a little bit more like this, which means it's going to be streaky. And that is the look that I'm going for. So I'm going to rinse my brush out really good. dry it off really good. And just another basic tip for you guys. This is just to save you on supplies. Whenever you're taking your brushes out of your water cup, make sure you're taking all that excess water and wiping it on the side of your cup before you go to your paper towel. Otherwise, I see this when I used to teach paint nights. People wouldn't do that, and they would just soak their paper towels. And then they'd be like, teacher, I need more. Look, like I barely used anything. So save yourself some money on supplies by making sure that you rinse off the sides, scrape it on the sides. Okay, I'm going to remove that banner so I'm not blocking anything. And I'm going to start at the top and go down so I'm not pulling my hand through it. So I'm going to be pretty light and streaky. This is also going to help with leaking underneath that tape. You want to do light, thin coats anytime you're doing something like this. If you get a ton of paint on your brush and it's gloppy, it is going to seep underneath there. So I'm going to leave it kind of rustic looking like that. And we're just going to keep moving down. So something to think about while we're doing this, you guys can give me your opinion on, is what color we want the word welcome. So I'm doing this for fall. Most of my colors out there are orange. Let's just lift it up a little. Do I do orange? Do I do gold? I could do a burnt orange. It's a little bit darker. I know I definitely don't want to do like a bright, bright orange. I want something a little bit more subtle. So I'm just getting a little bit of paint at a time, going back and forth until it runs out, getting a little bit more. So see, I'm not getting very much on there. So it's kind of giving me a little bit of like a dry brush look. Tyria, I would do teal, except my front door is teal. So I feel like I need to do something that contrasts with that. And orange and blue are opposite on the color wheel, which means that will definitely pop on my front door. So I'm leaning kind of towards the burnt orange, but I can always do gold accents to it. All right, I think I'm liking that. I'm going to try something and see if I like it. I'm just going to grab a little bit of white and just pull it through in a couple areas of this black. Because again, that's kind of similar to what she's got going on in her design. And that's what I'm using as inspiration. So you can obviously at home, if you're wanting to do this, and you don't want it that style, you can just do a nice solid black too. I cannot believe it's almost 4 o'clock already. So Sophie will be home in a little bit. You guys will probably hear her come in. She may want to come say hi. And if I get a little too much, that's probably a little too much up here, we'll just go back to the black. So like, it's really hard to mess this up. Make it your own. Have fun with it. I think I like it like that. I can always still change it if I don't like it when I pull the tape off. Here she is. Hey, Sophie. I'm doing a Facebook Live.
You want the mail?
Not right now. Let me scoot this up so you guys can see me peel the tape off. Jessie said, I want to see. So she already went to the kitchen. So if you want to come say hi. I don't know if she heard me. I'm just going to save my tape because I don't know if I'm going to want it for something else. So right now I'm just going to let it kind of hang off my table here in case I want it. It didn't peel the white off. I'm very happy about that. Oh, I really like the look of the white inside the black. Once you take the tape off, you can see that effect a lot more. And I really dig it. Hey, I don't even think we have any areas we have to fix. Bonus. Hey, Patty, we are repurposing a door hanger. I painted the back of it and we're getting it ready for fall. All right. What do you guys think? You like the look? I'm liking the look. Okay, so here's the other thing. If you look at Mackenzie, child's work, this is not just plain white. There's a little bit of gold and maybe even some like cream color in there. So we're going to get just a little bit. And I'm going to use a little bit smaller brush. It's got some red in it. And I'm going to get my plate. I think this gold is still wet. I was using this morning. Okay, this one's still good. And I'll show you what I used. So this is still good. But I'm going to get a little bit of a cream color also. I don't think I have one over here. So this is light buttermilk. Now keep in mind when you are doing this part, number one, I'm not going to use a ton of paint. Number two, if you get too much on there and you're like, oh no, I ruined it. You didn't ruin it. You can let it dry. Always let it dry if you need to fix your mistakes. Let it dry and then you can go over top of it. So I'm going to get a little bit of white with my gold. Oh, I already like the way that looks. And I'm just lightly streaking that in there. Got a little bit of dried paint there. So again, I'm going to put this over here so you guys can see Now, I'm not going to have it as dark as that. Oh, I'm already liking it. So not a ton of paint at all. And you can hold your brush this way, where it makes the bigger, fatter lines, or you can hold it this way, where it makes skinnier lines. Just kind of play with it and see what you like. So what do y'all think? You're not going to hurt my feelings if you don't like it, and if you preferred it white, that's okay. Because we each have our own style and our own opinion, but this is the way that I envisioned it, and it's the way that I wanted it to look, so I'm pretty excited about it. Susie said you've gotten me hooked on Mackenzie Childs. She's just so fun and whimsical. You guys know I love whimsical. That's weird. Why do these comments do that? Okay. You guys are liking it. Good. And I really love it because like no section is the same. It can be however much gold or however much cream you want. There is no right or wrong to it. I'm going to blow dry this a little bit, and I'm going to come back with just a little bit of gold because it'll stand out a little bit more when it's not mixing with that cream color. Just give me just a second. I'm going to do a quick blow dry. It's not going to take very much. I love it so far. Now you could take this a step further. If you wanted to do the actual checkered board like her, you would take the tape, you would repurpose that tape that we already used, and you would just make vertical lines, and then you could have a checked door hanger instead of stripes. But I like her style mixes stripes and checks. So a lot of the stuff I'm going to have is going to have checks in it. So I want this to be stripes. And I am only putting the gold in the white, not the black. So hopefully you can see how that stands out a little bit more than when it mixes with the cream color. So, you want to come say hi? Do you like what I'm doing?
try to come.
Yeah, careful. It's an obstacle course.
It's okay. I'm tiny.
I'll flip the camera up in just a second. You can say hi. Miss Jessie's on here. She wanted to say hi to you. Okay, I'm liking that gold.
That is pretty.
Say hi.
Hello.
I bet you can help me with some of these projects too. Look at the pumpkins I made.
Those look like the Mackenzie Childs pumpkins.
That's what they are.
Makes sense. I was like, I remember those from over here. And
Yep.
this, but you just added.
So Sophie knows I'm obsessed with Mackenzie Childs too.
I like them.
So this is like we're redoing our front porch, so we can have
Did you ever?
like this.
Oh. I like that.
If you weren't here at the beginning, we're also doing this that I'm going to show you guys how to do in a different Facebook Live. All right, I'm going to go back to just the screen.
Is Kylie here?
No, they're at practice.
Okay. I'm going to do my hair so badly.
Okay, I'm going to do the hand lettering now.
Can I cut the mozzarella and make that?
Yeah. Alexa, stop music. I have no idea why that kicked on. Okay, I'm getting transfer paper right now if you're wondering what I'm doing. And dropping things. So I'm probably going to have to pick this up and move it because it's not a super big piece. So we're going to position this where we want it. And you can decide, like you can, if you want it kind of cockeyed. I think I want it a little bit more. It's not really straight because the W drops down. But I think I want it about like that. So I'm just going to use my blue tape to hold that in place. This was tracing paper. This is transfer paper or carbon paper. Always the shiny black side down. And then we're just going to trace over. We almost had enough. So I know you have a hard time seeing that right now. I may go over it in this Posca pen because it's okay if there's a little black. I may even want like a little, I'm trying to remember how I did that other side. I did gold on that. Now you could also just use Sharpie for this. It's a little hard to see on my black lines. I have to look at this for reference where I can't see it. That wasn't exactly it. So where I am struggling to see this, it would be challenging, probably. But you could do white transfer paper in the black parts. One thing I do know is like on all my lettering, it's skinnier lines that are connecting them. So that's kind of where I'm eyeballing it. They're thicker going down, and then this line kind of comes down to that line, and then it's skinny going up. That's Pickles. All kinds of noises in the house today. This looks weird to me. Oh, I think that just had a bump in it, so it didn't. All right, so I can see it a little bit easier. Now I think I'm also going to do a very thin coat of white in this lettering before I do the burnt umber. I may just use this cream. Just kind of like a base coat. It's not really going to matter because it's going to be covered up with our color. But it's going to make that color show up better with a base coat under it first. So I am using just a small round right now. And I am resting my wrist on here when I'm going around some of these areas just to have better control. And then it's really, as far as the thickness of your lines, a lot of that is the amount of pressure that you put down. If I put down a lot of pressure, the line's going to be thicker. If I put down a little bit of pressure, it's going to be skinnier. How many of you have done painted on hand lettering, not stencil? It takes a little getting used to, but with some practice and the right brushes, you want to make sure you have the right brushes. I've got detailed brushes in my Amazon store that I love. If you want something really small that you can get in those small places and not have to worry about having, you know, super light pressure. Karen, it is Mackenzie Childs is what this is inspired by. She has a lot of home decor, all kinds of fun stuff. The very first thing I bought from her was these owl salt and pepper shakers that are black and white checkered. This is called her Courtly Check, is what this pattern is called. And then I have a friend who loves her as much as I do, and I bought her the salt and pepper shakers that are frogs, and they are so, so cute. So you guys starting to see how it's gonna come together. And if it does make you nervous, just don't forget, you can fix mistakes if you make them. I encourage people to keep moving along unless it's just really bad, you know, and you can use baby wipes to wipe them off if you do something you really don't like. But I also encourage people to keep moving, because a lot of times those mistakes that you think are so severe, when you're doing them, you're not even going to notice at the end. I really think I'm going to love this once we get that burnt orange on there. Allison, if you're still on here, will you put our Deco Art link in the comments? And then these colors that I'm using today, you'll be able to order from decoart.com. And they do have a lot more colors than what you may see like in Hobby Lobby when you go, or if you don't live next to a Hobby Lobby. See, like that's got a little gloppy in there. You can order directly from DecoArt and have them delivered. But that is what I used this Americana Metallics that I used is from DecoArt. This color is called Vintage Brass. 24 karat gold is one of my favorites as well. Then the Americana Black, you can just use their white on this as well. And then light buttermilk. Okay, she posted if you do want a cutout in this shape where you could get that from. And I think, let me double check. I'm thinking about this color, but I'm not sure. This one's Canyon Orange, but I'm going to look over here real quick and make sure that's what I want to use. These are the three that I'm looking at. So Canyon Orange is out. That's too orangey. I either want to use this Georgia Clay or this Warm Sunset. And Allison just posted my link to DecoArt. You guys can use that to get your supplies, get your colors. Which one do you guys like better? Trying not to stick my arms in paint. One has a little bit more red, one has a little bit more orange. I'm thinking about mixing them, Leslie. I think I'm going to get some of both. And you can always see a little bit more when you get them out of the bottle too. Let me figure out which brush I want to use. This is one of my detail brushes. I left it in my water cup too long, so it's a little bent, but it's still going to be good for these skinny areas. And then, let me look here. I think I'm going to use a little filbert brush for the wider. So I'm going to start with the darker color. I may come back and fill in black right there. I don't know if I want that W that wide, but again, I'm going to leave it for now. That may be one of those things. I think I want it that way right now, but I may not even care when I get it on there. Same thing I told you before, with all acrylic paint, any project that you're doing, do thin coats. If you start seeing the black come through this, don't just keep loading paint on the board. That is not going to be what you want to do. So let's just switch here and see if this helps. I'm going to do this little guy. Then any of these loops, I'm going to use this really skinny detail brush. And I can always make it thicker. But it gives me that nice skinny line there. Just remember, this doesn't have to be perfect. I don't think anyone's going to notice if some of my lines are a little thicker than others. Just smooth it out. And just take your time. Don't rush through it. I'm definitely liking this color though. Let's just see what it would look like if I added a little bit of the lighter color. kind of blend that in a little. Can you even tell? You may not be able to from that far away. Very subtle. I'm going to lift it up to see if you can see it closer. It's very minimal. That darker color was Georgia Clay. My back is starting to hurt from hunching over. See how I can almost use this brush just by going straight down and pushing down on it to get the width that I want for the lettering. So if your lettering is always too thick, you want to look at two things: the brushes that you're using and the pressure that you're putting down. It's coming together. And when you do nice thin coats, you're not going to have to wait long before you can go back with that second coat if you want to. All right. Did I miss something? Elizabeth saying something about the letter E. I'm not sure. I think I like it. The O should be closed more at the top. I can make that this part a little bit thicker. So now on the other side, I'm going to flip this over. We did gold around the lettering too. So I don't know if I want to add that on here or if I just want to leave it. And I'm not going to paint anything else on it. I just want it stripes. So it's going to be nice and simple. I think a little bit of the gold paint pen might help the words stand out a little though. Unless this one's about to dry up. When you're doing gold paint pen, you want to make sure that it is dry before you add the paint pen on there. Oh, I got my arm in a little bit of wet paint. I definitely like the gold. And this is my favorite gold paint pen. This is Deco Color. Not the same as Deco Art though. But this is in my Amazon store. It's what I use for everything. If there's anything fine detail and gold, this is what I'm using. There you go. Hand painted, no stencil. We just traced it on there. So if you missed that part, you're just going to find whatever your favorite font is. I'm going to touch this up where I messed this up. Little finger painting to touch this up. I don't know the specific name of the one that I use, so I cannot tell you. I would type in scripty fonts and then you just type out whatever you want your word to be. You may want your name. So I'm just going around any areas where I see that I need to touch anything up. You obviously can use a paintbrush. I just think it's easier to just use my finger. What do you guys think? So, very last thing you could do to this, since you're hanging it outside, there's two. Did I bring that in? Hold on, let me make sure I brought it in before I'm talking about it. That's not the one I want. There's 2 ways you can seal it. We may have to save that for another day because I can't do it while it's wet. You can do a spray sealer or you can do a brush on sealer. So I may show you that at the beginning of the next Facebook Live before I show you how to do the decoupage pumpkins. So if you missed the beginning, this is just part of the fall decor that I'm doing for my home, for my front porch. And you guys are just going to get to go along the journey with me. So if you want to make sure you don't miss any of the Facebook Lives, make sure that you text. Let me pull it back up here really quick. I don't know if I have just live alerts already on here. You can go ahead and I'm just going to put this one up. You can text the word Amazon, then you'll get a link to my store. But that also puts you on my live alerts. So anytime I go live, you're going to know about it. But we're going to do all kinds of fun fall stuff. Later this week, I'm going to do these decoupage pumpkins that are going to match this theme. And then I'm going to show you guys some of the urns that I'm doing, the garland and the ribbon. So all kinds of fun stuff. It's all going to be themed together. So Sherry, text that to that phone number on the screen. It won't do you any good to put it in the comments. So you want to make sure text it to that phone number so that it automatically replies to you with that link and it puts you on my text list. So hope you guys had fun. I'm glad you hung out with me today and just stay tuned for more fun stuff coming soon. Bye.